Yes, I mean, the accounts that I'm getting from Christian leaders are exactly the opposite of what we are seeing and listening to on television and radio and reading about in the papers. That what we have had is not only peaceful demonstrators or protesters, the use of mosques as arsenals, with women and children being used as a shield. This is a well-known tactic, of course, of radical Islamists all over the world, and we shouldn't be surprised that it's being used also in Egypt. We've had indiscriminate firing. One church leader described it to me as with demonstrators going through localities, and this particular leader lives in a very nice locality, I mean, not by any means a problem area. And he said they were just firing indiscriminately at people as they passed through. The attacks on police stations and on the police themselves, as shown by the recent massacres, this was a tactic used in the original disturbances to destabilize and to paralyze the police. So I think that's being tried again. But of course with Christians, a Christian commentator, I've just received this, is saying that this is the worst persecution of Christians in Egypt since 1321. The burning of churches, the attacks on monasteries. One monastery has been burnt, and those who burnt it have said this is now a mosque. On Christian bookshops, on schools, on the homes of priests and pastors, 50 churches is the latest figure have been burned. So that is the situation as far as we know it. I think the first thing is not to swallow everything that we read about in the papers or see on television. The situation is much more complex. 15 million people signed the petition asking the armed forces to do something. And of course there were many more on the streets in the various cities of Egypt asking for change. Because apart from the persecution of Christians, and the curbs on women and so forth, the government simply was not working. The economy was in a shambles. Tourists had all but stopped coming, and something had to be done. So this is not simply a matter of a coup d'etat, as some Western commentators are trying to make out. In the absence of parliament and the expression of this popular will, something had to be done. Now, I am not in any way excusing everything that was done, and just as I would appeal to the protesters to be peaceful, so also I would appeal to the armed forces not to use disproportionate force, for instance, or indiscriminately to treat every protester as if they were about to engage in violence, because clearly there are some who are simply wanting peaceful protest. So it's a complex situation. Try and understand it, I think, is the first thing, as much as you can. Read what Christians in the region are saying, in the country are saying, about what is happening to them, rather than the half sentences appended to what is being said by our politicians here or in the United States. Pray, give to those who are in need. There are charities working with churches and Christians in Egypt, and be in partnership with them, and also try and learn from people who visit and who know the situation at first hand.